well, putting it in context of what's happening in the world, what's the market going to react according to you? The budget has just happened. How big a deal is this for India?
This is a very big deal because, see, it's on the back of the EU FTA also. And what we should understand is that in the budget, a lot of actions have been taken, already announced, which the US was expecting. So it is like giving a signal to the US that India is serious about the points where it wants to negotiate and, of course, stand on the red lines. So with that signaling in the budget, and one of the examples of that signaling is the equipment that the contract manufacturing firms bring in here, and that being owned by them and that being not taxed, and therefore that cost not coming. And that was one of the asks from manufacturers like Apple. So I think there are a lot of signals in the budget which have been sent to US that India is serious about the deal, and we see the result that the announcement has happened last night.
We still don't know what made it happen now when there was this narrative that it's just on his table, on President Trump's table, and he just has to sign it. Some others saying that what's required is for Prime Minister Modi to actually make a phone call. That's perhaps happened. And I know you're an economist and you're not somebody who talks about geopolitics. But at the end of the day, from what we've understood in terms of both the posts, from the Indian Prime Minister and the Truth Social post from US President Trump, who's got the better deal?
I won't say that. See, in a deal, it's a deal at the end of the day. So there will be some give and some take on both sides. So we can't say who got the better deal, but I guess that US is going to benefit from this deal as well as India also. Our exports to US had dropped by almost 20 billion if you look at the numbers. Now that boost will come, and our job-intensive sectors, especially textile, gems, jewelry, etc., they were under stress. And with the support that have been given to these two segments, especially the textiles, with the EU FTA coming in and the US coming in, it's going to give a big boost to jobs and employment to India. So I would say that it's a win-win for both the countries.
Okay, let me understand this, because what was also noted is that India will be lowering its tariff and non-tariff barriers to zero. That's what President Donald Trump has said. I just want to understand, what does that do to Indian businesses, to industry? It will certainly have an impact, and a negative one.
See, in the economic survey, the chief economic advisor had clearly said that we can't be protecting the upstream input industry for the detriment or of competitiveness of the downstream, which is essentially the MSMEs. And we know that MSMEs are the backbone of Indian economy and they need to be supported. So if there are certain duty cuts or non-tariff barriers brought down in the upstream of manufacturing, where we are not manufacturing in India, then I guess that it is going to benefit a larger segment of business. It could maybe make competition a little stiffer for the upstream people, but we know that, and we have seen from history, that Indian businessmen can bring in those efficiencies when pushed.
Okay. Any other sectors that you'd like to talk about in this context?
So I think the key is the manufacturing and the electronics manufacturing. I guess that is a segment which will get a huge boost from this because there was a nervousness that whether the electronics manufacturing capacity that's being put up, now whether the market will be open, and there was a bit of a nervousness around that. So I guess now more and more contract manufacturing and assemblies and as well as manufacturing in the electronic segment is going to get a big boost.
Well, this will be interesting because this comes at the back of a push in terms of manufacturing through the budget. So this is a double fill-up in a sense. Okay, let me ask you this. Does this, at least temporarily, if not permanently, and structurally perhaps, turn around investor sentiment when you think about foreign money coming into India?
See, it is going to have an impact because, see, the bond yields which had gone spiked a lot, now that will soften, right? And as the nervousness, though I would say that the fog literally has to clear as we are standing here.
We're in New Delhi, folks, and it's not cleared yet.
Yeah, so the fog has to clear, and I think once the fog lifts up, we'll get to understand what the lay of the land is. But clearly, the sentiment will be extremely positive because if we are getting two deals back to back, then over the next 1 year, because investor sentiment runs on what happens after 1 year. The EU FTA deal will also take 6 months. The fog to lift on this will also take some time to the final signatures. But I think the sentiment will be hugely positive, and we should see the reversal of the flows.